Let me start with a truth most people avoid. You don't need years to build trust. You don't need perfection to build connection, and you don't need charm to build rapport. All you need is intentionality. Because strangers don't respond to your words first, they respond to your energy, your presence, your attention. And today, I'm going to show you how to create a connection with someone in seconds, even if you're shy, nervous, or have zero idea what to say. Let's go match energy first, lead later. Most people think influence begins when they start talking, when they start giving advice, or when they take control of the moment. But the truth is sharper, quieter, and far more powerful. You cannot lead anyone you haven't first aligned with. You cannot shift someone's emotional state until you've entered it with them, and you cannot create influence by force. Real influence is created through alignment. Imagine walking into a room where someone is frustrated, stressed, or closed off. If you come in with sunshine-level enthusiasm, you'll collide with their mood. If they're serious and you're playful, you clash. If they're calm and slow-paced and you come in with rapid-fire energy, you feel out of sync. Human beings don't trust what feels foreign. They trust what feels familiar, and when your energy contradicts theirs, even if you have good intentions, their subconscious says, wrong frequency, not like me. That's the moment rapport dies before it begins. Matching energy isn't manipulation, it's respect. It's stepping into someone's world before asking them to step into yours. It's saying, without words, I see you. I get where you are. I'm not here to overpower you. I'm here to connect with you. When you match someone's pace, tone, body language, or intensity, even subtly, you are telling their nervous system that you're safe, and safety is the birthplace of influence. Think about the best communicators you've ever met. They don't impose energy, they adjust. You never feel pushed, you feel understood. When you're excited, they rise with you. When you're quiet, they lower their tone. When you're tense, they soften. And because they meet you where you are, you naturally begin to follow where they go. This is what most people miss. You earn the right to lead only after you've matched. If someone is anxious, don't jump straight into, hey, relax. That's invalidation disguised as encouragement. Instead, align with their intensity. I can see something's weighing on you. Match the seriousness, the pace, the presence, and as they begin to feel understood, then you introduce calm. You lead them out, but only after joining them in. If someone is quiet and reserved, don't force high energy, don't fill the silence with noise, enter their quiet. Speak slower, create space. Once their guard drops, you can increase the energy gradually and they'll rise with you because now it feels natural, not imposed. If someone is excited, loud, or passionate, you match that enthusiasm. Let them feel your alignment. Once you're resonating on their level, you can guide them toward clarity, structure, or focus. But if you start calm when they're fired up, they'll think you don't get them. And people never follow someone they don't feel understood by. Most people communicate like drummers who refuse to hear the beat of the room. They walk in with their rhythm already set, banging loudly without listening. And then they wonder why nobody connects with them, why conversations feel awkward, why people seem distant. It's because they're not tuning into what's already happening. They're trying to lead without earning it. Match energy first, that's your entry point. It's your access pass to someone's trust. Think of it like dancing. You don't pull someone into your rhythm. You start by feeling theirs, only then can you guide. Communication is the same dance. This approach works everywhere, in leadership, friendships, family, business, coaching, sales, even with strangers. If you walk up to someone who's lost in thought and hit them with, hey, how's it going? You've broken rapport before you've built it. But if you approach with a gentle pace that mirrors theirs, they let you in. And once they're open, then you can shift the energy upward. Influence isn't about being the loudest or the most powerful in the room. Influence is about being the most aligned person in the room. You read people, you adapt, you match, and once they feel understood, they give you permission to guide. People follow those who first understand them. People trust those who feel like them. People open up to those who don't try to control the moment, but instead connect with it. Matching energy isn't weakness, it's mastery. It shows you're intentional, aware, and emotionally intelligent enough to adjust. When you match someone's energy, you dissolve resistance, you disarm defensiveness, you create a bridge where none existed, and from that bridge you can lead them anywhere, into calm, into clarity, into confidence, into action. Match first, lead later. That's how you turn strangers into allies, skeptics into believers, and closed doors into open opportunities, make them feel seen, not judged. That single shift can transform every interaction you touch, conversations, relationships, leadership, influence, all of it. People don't remember your words first. They remember how you made them feel, and the feeling they crave the most isn't admiration, validation, or attention. They crave something deeper, something life-changing, to be seen without being evaluated. Most people move through the world on defense, hiding parts of themselves because they're constantly anticipating judgment. They're measuring every word, every expression, every flaw, wondering, what will they think of me? Everyone is scanning for danger, not connection. So when someone comes along who simply sees them, without criticism, without performance requirements, without pressure, it's disarming. It's rare, and rare becomes unforgettable. Seeing someone means you're fully present with them, not mapping them against your expectations. You're not waiting for your turn to talk. You're not filtering them through your biases. You're not trying to fix them, correct them, or categorize them. You are absorbing who they are right now as they are. And that alone creates a level of trust that most people never experience. Judgment, on the other hand, shuts people down instantly. It happens the moment someone feels like they're being evaluated. You can say all the right words, but if your eyes, your posture, or your attention tells them you're analyzing, comparing, or sizing them up, the conversation is already dead. Humans are wired to protect themselves from judgment long before they're wired to open up. And once they sense even a drop of it, their walls rise faster than you can speak. When someone feels judged, they retreat. When someone feels seen, they reveal. Those two reactions create two entirely different worlds. Seeing someone doesn't mean you agree with everything. It doesn't mean you lower your standards. It means you give them a moment where they don't have to hide. And in that freedom, people show you their real selves, the part you can actually connect with. The secret no one talks about is this. You can't influence someone while judging them, but you can influence someone deeply once they feel understood. Think about the last time someone genuinely noticed something about you. Something small, but true. Maybe they recognized your effort, your character, your strength, your story. That moment felt like oxygen, not because it fed your ego, but because it allowed you to be human without defending yourself. That's the experience you want to create for others, and once you do, rapport doesn't just form, it locks in. To make someone feel seen, start with presence, real presence, the kind where you're not mentally multitasking, rehearsing your reply, or scrolling through assumptions. You're tuned into them. People can tell when you're half listening. They can also tell when you're fully there. Presence alone makes people exhale. Next comes your eyes. Your eyes communicate judgment faster than your mouth ever could. Look at them with curiosity, not evaluation. Curiosity opens energy, evaluation closes it. Then comes your tone, the way you say, I hear you, or tell me more, or that makes sense. Tone can make those words feel safe, or it can make them feel like a trap. So soften the tone, slow it down, let your voice communicate acceptance, not impatience. You also make people feel seen by reflecting what you notice, not the superficial, but the meaningful. You identify their effort, their intention, their struggle, or their courage. Something like, I can tell this matters to you. You've been carrying this alone for a while, haven't you? You're trying harder than people realize. That took strength. Lines like these hit people in places no compliment ever reaches. Compliments praise the surface, being seen acknowledges the soul. Another powerful way to make someone feel seen is to withhold quick advice. Most people jump straight into fixing mode because they feel uncomfortable with emotional weight. But offering solutions too quickly sends the message, your experience isn't valid, let me correct it. Instead, let them express, let them breathe, let them feel heard, advice given after understanding lands. Advice given too soon wounds, and finally, do not scan for flaws, scan for humanity. Everyone has pain, pressure, hopes, fears, insecurities, battles they don't talk about. When you approach people with the awareness that there is more beneath the surface than you could ever know, you naturally become more gentle, more open, more compassionate. That alone removes judgment from your presence. When you give someone the gift of being seen, you earn loyalty, you earn trust, you earn access to their real thoughts, their real emotions, their real self. People remember the ones who didn't rush them, didn't criticize them, didn't shrink them, didn't try to mold them. They remember the ones who made them feel human, the ones who made them feel enough, make them feel seen, not judged. And they'll open doors you didn't even know existed. They'll let you into their world. And once you're in, you can guide, you can lead, you can influence. But it all starts with this moment, I see you, and you're safe here. Use micro-mirroring, not fake mirroring. This is where most people completely misunderstand human connection. They hear that mirroring builds rapport, so they turn it into a performance, a clumsy imitation game where they copy gestures, copy posture, copy tone like they're rehearsing a script instead of having a real conversation. And the moment someone feels copied instead of understood, the connection collapses because humans don't trust actors, they trust alignment. Micromirroring is not about copying someone's behavior, it's about syncing with their internal rhythm, not their external movements. It's subtle, invisible, almost imperceptible, and when done right, it tells the other person's nervous system, we're on the same wavelength. Not because you're mimicking them, but because you're resonating with them. Fake mirroring is rigid, mechanical, obvious. It looks like someone read a communication book yesterday and is trying too hard today. You lean in, they lean in. You cross your arms, they cross theirs. You scratch your head, they scratch theirs. It's robotic, and nothing kills rapport faster than feeling like someone is using techniques on you instead of expressing genuine interest in you. Micro-mirroring, on the other hand, isn't about matching movements, it's about matching the frequency of the person in front of you. Their pace, their intensity, their emotional temperature, their flow. You're aligning with the essence of their expression, not the surface-level details. You're tuning your presence to their presence like two instruments adjusting to vibrate in harmony. If they're speaking slowly, you soften your pace just a little. If they're animated, you let your energy rise, not to their level exactly, but toward it. If they're reserved, you respect the space by becoming a little more grounded, a little less intrusive. People feel it immediately. You're not copying them, you're understanding them. You're meeting them where they are, not pretending to be them. This is the difference between rehearsed communication and real connection. When your mirroring is genuine, it's not something you do. It's something that naturally happens when you're fully attuned to the other person. You're listening with more than your ears. You're listening with your presence. You're absorbing the subtle cues, breathing, rhythm, posture shifts, not to replicate them, but to respond in a way that feels familiar and comfortable to the other person. The goal of micro-mirroring is to create psychological safety. It tells people, you don't need to adjust for me. I'm adjusting for you, and that alone disarms defensiveness. Think about someone who naturally makes you comfortable. They don't mimic you. They simply feel easy to talk to. That ease comes from harmony. Two energies matching enough to create flow, and flow doesn't need to be identical. It just needs to be aligned. Fake mirroring is what insecure communicators do. They're not listening, they're strategizing. They're not connecting, they're performing. They're using mirroring as a tool to get something from the interaction. Approval, influence, agreement, and people can smell that intention from a mile away. Micro-mirroring requires authenticity. If you're annoyed and they're calm, you first stabilize yourself. If you're excited and they're tense, you lower your energy until their nervous system settles. This isn't pretending. It's emotional intelligence. You're not becoming a version of them. You're becoming the version of you that helps them relax into the moment. Sometimes micro-mirroring is as small as adjusting the tilt of your head when someone is sharing something vulnerable. Sometimes it's matching their level of seriousness when they're opening up. Sometimes it's taking a breath when they take one, not exaggerated, just enough for their body to read your presence as in sync. And here's the truth that separates masters of connection from amateurs. People don't consciously notice micro-mirroring, but their body responds to it instantly. Their guard lowers, their tone softens, their expression opens, their trust increases. It's the silent language of rapport. With fake mirroring, you're focused on yourself. Am I copying right? With micro-mirroring, you're focused on them. What do they need to feel comfortable? And that shift in attention changes everything. The moment someone feels your alignment, not imitation, not flattery, but alignment, they give you access, they let you into their emotional space, and once you're in, influence becomes natural, communication becomes effortless, conversation becomes organic. Micro-mirroring is connection without pretending, rapport without manipulation, influence without force. It's the quiet art of meeting someone where they are so you can guide them where they need to go. And people don't resist what feels aligned, they follow it. They trust it, they open to it. Use micro-mirroring, not fake mirroring, and you'll connect deeper, faster, and more authentically than most people ever will. Ask one powerful question. Most people destroy connection without even realizing it, not because they say something wrong, but because they ask the wrong questions. They stay trapped in the loop of boring, predictable, emotionally empty conversations that go nowhere. Small talk, surface talk, checklist questions, the type of questions that make people answer automatically, not authentically. But one powerful question can do what hours of conversation fail to do. It can open someone, it can disarm someone, it can make someone feel understood in a way they rarely experience. A powerful question isn't about complexity, it's about intention, it's about depth. It's about cutting through the noise of everyday conversation and reaching the real person behind the polite mask. Most people ask questions to fill silence. Leaders ask questions to pull truth. Influential communicators ask questions to unlock someone's inner world. The right question can shift the entire direction of a connection because it signals something different. I'm not here to skate on this surface. I'm here to actually understand you. The second someone realizes you're not chasing information, you're chasing insight, their guard drops, their voice changes, their energy shifts. They stop performing and start revealing, and that moment is where real rapport begins. A powerful question is like a key. It opens a door inside someone that they didn't even know was locked. Questions like, what's something you're working on that actually matters to you right now? What's one thing that changed you this year? What are you most proud of that nobody notices? What's something you've been carrying alone? Questions like these don't feel like interviews, they feel like invitations, and people don't resist invitations. They step into them. A powerful question does three things at once. It validates someone, it shows genuine curiosity, it pulls emotional truth to the surface. Most people never experience that combination, and that's why it hits so hard when someone finally asks them a question that sees them instead of scanning them. But here's the real secret. You only need one powerful question, not 10, not a list, not a strategy, just one. Ask it at the right moment, when they're relaxed, when they feel your presence, when the conversation is flowing. And it will tilt the entire interaction into a deeper lane. The art is in the timing. You don't drop a deep question into shallow water. You ease in with presence, with attention, with energy alignment. Once the person feels safe, you deliver the question that changes everything. This is why powerful questions work. People are bursting with unspoken thoughts. Everyone has something they haven't said out loud. Everyone has experiences they want to share but never get asked about. Everyone carries emotions that need somewhere to land. When you create that landing space, they open in a way they don't open with anyone else, and here's where most people fail. They ask questions out of curiosity for themselves, not empathy for the other person. They want information they can use. They want stories they can respond to. They want details that make them feel entertained. A powerful question is the opposite. It's not about your curiosity, it's about their clarity. You're not asking to get something, you're asking to give them space to be heard, seen, understood, valued. That's why people remember the one who asked the question, not the one who talked the most. When you ask a powerful question, you shift someone's internal state. You make them reflect, you make them open, you make them trust you because you're not pulling them into a shallow script. You're walking with them into something meaningful. Most conversations are transactional. Powerful questions make conversations transformational. The room quiets, the energy drops into the heart, the person reveals a layer they usually hide, and suddenly, rapport isn't something you're trying to build. It's something that naturally forms. One powerful question can turn a stranger into an ally, a casual moment into a meaningful one, an acquaintance into a deep connection. Never underestimate the impact of one question asked with intention, presence, and authenticity. It can shift someone's entire perception of you and their perception of themselves. So don't chase interesting questions, chase the right one. You don't need quantity, you need resonance, and once you hit it, you don't just start a conversation. You start a connection, give value in the first 10 seconds. Most people walk into conversations trying to take approval, attention, interest, validation. They want to be liked, respected, understood. But they forget the simple truth. You only receive from people after you give something meaningful to them first. Not money, not favors, not status. Value, real value, emotional value, psychological value, human value. 10 seconds is all it takes to make someone decide whether you're worth opening up to. 10 seconds to shape whether you're just another forgettable interaction or someone who stands out in their mind long after the conversation ends. 10 seconds to signal your intention. I'm here to elevate this moment, not drain it. People feel value before they understand it. They sense it. They absorb it. They respond to it instinctively. That's why the first 10 seconds matter. In those 10 seconds, you set the emotional tone, you set the dynamic, you set the frequency of the connection, and most importantly, you show them who you are without needing to explain who you are. Giving value isn't about giving advice. It's not about showcasing intelligence. It's not about impressive stories or achievements. Value in the first 10 seconds is about giving something people rarely receive. Recognition, respect, presence, clarity, or emotional ease. It could be as simple as a sincere acknowledgement. I appreciate how focused you are. You have a calm presence that's grounding. I can tell you're someone who pays attention. You strike me as someone who takes their work seriously. These lines don't flatter, they read character, they reflect something meaningful that people feel but rarely hear acknowledged. And when you offer that kind of insight, people feel valued, not because you're praising them, but because you're noticing them. That's value, or maybe the value is energy or groundedness, your calm, your confidence. People scan energy faster than words. When you enter a conversation with intention and presence, you stabilize the environment. That alone is value. People gravitate toward those who make situations feel more centered. Sometimes the value is clarity. Most people live in mental fog, emotional fog, decision fog. One well-timed observation can cut straight through the noise. Sounds like you've been carrying a lot lately. It seems like this matters to you more than you're saying. You've been putting effort into this. You're just not giving yourself credit. Suddenly they feel understood, deeply understood, and that gives them emotional relief. Relief is value. You don't need to impress people in 10 seconds. You need to impact them. Impact is created through depth, not drama, through intention, not performance, through presence, not pressure. Most people destroy the first 10 seconds because they lead with anxiety, neediness, or self-centeredness. Do they like me? What should I say? Am I coming across well? All of those questions make the interaction about you, and the moment a conversation becomes about you, you lose influence. But when you flip the lens and ask, what can I give right now that makes this moment better for them? Everything shifts, confidence rises, anxiety drops, connection deepens, rapport forms effortlessly. Giving value doesn't mean being overly positive or fake. It means being aligned with the moment. If someone is tense, bring calm. If someone is excited, bring presence. If someone is unsure, bring grounding. If someone is guarded, bring safety. You're giving them what their nervous system needs to relax, and once they relax, they trust you. Once they trust you, they open up. Once they open up, you have influence, but it starts with value. 10 seconds is short, but it's long enough to shift someone's emotional state. A single sentence can do it, a single expression, a single moment of genuine presence. Most people have never been truly noticed, so the slightest hint of real attention stands out like a spotlight. Value is not about what you know, it's about what you give. It's not about being impressive, it's about being useful to the moment. It's not about manipulating, it's about elevating. When your presence makes someone feel lighter, safer, or more seen, they remember you. And once someone remembers you as someone who adds value instantly, they listen to you differently. They speak to you differently, they connect with you differently. Give value in the first 10 seconds because the person who gives value first becomes the person others naturally follow. So here's the challenge I'm giving you today. The next stranger you meet, don't try to impress them. Don't try to perform for them. Don't try to be interesting. Just be interested. Match their energy. See them deeply. Ask with intention. Give value instantly. Do this, and you won't just build rapport. You'll build respect. You'll build trust. You'll build connection on command, not someday. Eventually, instantly.